You know what's coming back in a big way? Your mom's coming back in a big way. That's what she said. That's another one of those stupid anti-jokes that's coming back right now in America. I blame The Office personally. And as a comedian, you're not just threatened, but you're also angered by anti-jokes like that. Because there's no build-up, there's no elegance, there's no setup, there's no story, there's just pun. Your mom be dope, that joke, your mom. And it's addictive too. You ever realize that? Once you pop, you can't stop. It's addictive. Your mom is addictive. Once you pop, you can't stop. She's a slippery slope. The many men tread down, just go into the ditch. That's what she said. I'm getting tired of your mom. Your mom is no longer doing it for me. I think it's time that we put your mom to bed, lay her to rest once and for all. That is not what she said, but I'm willing to give her credit for it. For me, the only way to care about your mom again would be if a giant comet were suddenly discovered out there in the Milky Way, out there in the depths of space, by Professor Richard, your mom, of Yale University. Because he discovers the comet, he gets to name it after himself. Say hello to the Your Mom Comet. And everyone laughs and scoffs at your mom for a moment because she's roughly twice the size of Canada and hurtles through space about 1,000 miles per hour. Your mom is composed of mainly ice chunks and unidentifiable alien carbon substances. Scientists gather to stare engrossed at your mom's enormous tail, which goes on for miles. Miles, they stare at your mom's tail to the point where J-Lo gets jealous. But NASA does some trigonometry, some things with those numbers, those scary things that Americans don't do. And we project, and we predict that your mom is on a straight collision course with the Earth itself. It is predicted that the initial impact from your mom will cause a massive explosion of approximately 10 billion megatons of sheer force. Enough force and enough nuclear energy to shatter China, evaporate Lake Titicaca, and demolish Intercourse, Pennsylvania, which she never approved of to begin with. And upon realizing this, that your mom was the doomsday comet predicted by the ancient writings of Nostradamus and the blood-soothsaying of the Amish, we begin to do what America and humans do best. In these situations, we panic. People begin to panic. Why? Because your mom is coming. Suddenly, every bed in America becomes uneven as empty beer bottles and Coke cans are being shoved under every bed, so it looks good when your mom arrives. All dirty laundry gets shoved into and overstuffed into every closet, and people start calling cousins that they haven't spoken to in years and wishing their grandmothers a happy birthday. It's the end of the world. They don't care anymore. People start attacking just Detroit and sacking it, realizing there's nothing left to steal. Bummer. Hi, Vegas. In the middle of all this, suddenly having something decent to report upon, the news networks don't know what to say, don't know what to do, they don't have anyone to blame. Bill O'Reilly culminates his entire journalistic integrity into one temper tantrum on national television where he essentially wets his pants and blames your mom on the Democrats. And it's not like we have any missiles left to attack it because we were throwing them at the moon! Way to go, Barack! Meanwhile, in the middle of all this chaos, people start returning their Netflix DVDs because it's the end of the world anyway. If you're going to be blasted to oblivion, you might as well go clutching Die Hard 2 to your chest just for irony's sake. Not as good as the first, but you know what? They were out of stock. Meanwhile, in the middle of all this madness, the Pennsylvania Dutch construct a functioning satellite out of plywood and duct tape and returns them to their home planet. Thus proving me right all along. But there is a glimmer of hope in facing your mom. That's right. At the last minute, a new, bigger comet is suddenly discovered by Professor Barbara My Ass of Sweden. That's where this is going, and all you can do is scream. That's what she said. And the new comet, then the My Ass comet, roughly twice the size of Uranus, is on a straight collision course with your mom, and we all stand as a culture, as a planet, every race, every species standing up, fingers crossed in anticipation, except for Florida, which won't leave the house because it's not really air conditioned outside. And we witness the galactic struggle as My Ass crashes into your mom, and the sheer force of My Ass pushes your mom into the sun, thus burning and evaporating the bitch for all time and saving mankind! But the galactic struggle is enormous. It's intense. My ass doesn't have the hit points to cover that. It's suddenly bloodied. My ass spreads across the universe in huge chunks. As my ass spreads across the Milky Way, oddly enough, it curdles. And large chunks of my ass begin raining down upon the planet, catching fire in the friction of re-entry, and crashing perfectly ironical parts in America. A giant piece of my ass falls down and crushes the Blarney Stone, giving the Irish something of value to kiss. Every Scientologist in the nation gathers around it, recognizing that they have something of value to worship. And the Earth is eternally grateful grateful to my ass, but we don't stop there. We dedicate a calendar date in honor of my ass. We dedicate and erect sculpture gardens in honor of my ass. We take a giant chunk of my ass and we parade it down Main Street in every main city, led by a Shiite, a Sunni, and a Hasidic Jew, carmel dancing down Broadway. Grateful for the fact that we have not been destroyed. We are finally alive. We've given a second chance because of my ass. And every year, elementary schools reenact the dramatic battle between my ass and your mom, using sock puppets and masks that they make from paper bags, Elmer's glue, and uncooked macaroni. I have thought this through! So we came a Batman Arkham Asylum to cotton swabs and chicken fried steaks and France and duct tape and scotch-tape pipe cleaners, Thomas the Tank Engine, and graveyards and churches and Spain, you know, why not? And aardvarks too. Christopher Walken, Mark Hamill, the burning remains of Jerry Lewis, whoever he is, spread across, werewolves, and napalm, and lollipops, and silly putties, and Neil Gaiman's graphic novels, The Sandman, and patriotism, and Judaism, and sexism, and racism, and chocolate cake. Every textbook ever written, every PhD thesis, every annotate, every PowerPoint presentation, every dream forgotten, bumper cars, laser tag, paintball. Every text message ever sent, every Facebook status update, every word composed by Shakespeare, every opinion spoken by Confucius, the Buddha, and Jesus Christ, every fanfic featuring Captain Hook and Captain Crunch. Your first best friend, the last word you ever said to your grandfather, the last time your mother sang you a lullaby, the blanket that she carried you home in from the hospital, the moment you decided not to live by the golden rule and just gave into cynicism, the last good Disney movie, the first good Disney movie, every D&D character sheet you ever scribbled, every Thaco dice ever rolled, every social checks ever made, every Jenga post that ever fell down, every tire ever replaced, every pair of shoes that was ever outgrown, every hand you ever shook, every chunk of corn stuck in your teeth, every pair of lips that ever kissed yours, every reason that ever justified taking the life of another human being, and mullets and blackheads and whiteheads and skinheads and redheads and bagpipes. All could have been gone, just poof. Everything we ever were, everything we were ever going to be. And we realize, as a race, as a species, that even though she is now gone and dead forever, your mom was fat, crooked, and hard to handle, and that's what she said!